Hello, and welcome to an unrehearsed tragedy, the show where old plays are performed without rehearsal or preparation of any kind, other than this prepared introductory script that I'm reading right now. Today, we will be performing Prometheus Bound by Aeschylus. I'm going to have to figure out how to say that name by the end of this, which is an ancient Greek play written sometime between 479 and 424 BCE, with my co-star and dear friend, Kate Woodhall. Welcome, Kate.
Hey.
This is not a new idea to perform plays without having first read and rehearsed them thoroughly. I originally saw it done by OSP on their late night live stream thing, which I really liked and thought it would be fun to try out with a tiny bit more production value and a lot more embarrassment since neither of us have ever practiced acting before. But yeah, and now enjoy the show. A rocky mountaintop within sight of the sea. Enter strength and violence, dragging in Prometheus. Hephaestus follows.
Here we have reached the remotest region of the earth, the haunt of Scythians, a wilderness without a footprint. Hephaestus, do your duty. Remember what command the Father laid on you. Here is Prometheus, the rebel. Nail him to the rock, secure him on the towering summit, fast in the unyielding grip of adamantine chains. It was your treasure that he stole, the flowery splendor of all fashioning fire, and gave to men an offense intolerable to the gods, for which he must now suffer, till he be taught to accept the sovereignty of Zeus and cease acting as champion of the human race.
For you too, strength and violence, the command of Zeus is now performed. You are released. But how can I find heart to lay hands on a god of my own race, and cruelly clamp him to this bitter, bleak ravine? And yet I must, heart or no heart, this I must do. To slight what Zeus has spoken is a fearful thing. To Prometheus, son of gracious Themis, god of mountainous thoughts, with heart as sore as yours, I shall now fasten you in bands of bronze immovable to this desolate peak, where you will hear no voice, nor see a human form, but scorched with the sun's flaming rays your skin will loose its bloom of freshness. Glad you will be to see the night cloaking the day with her dark spangled robe, and glad again when the sun's warmth scatters at the frost at dawn. Each changing hour will bring successive pain to rack your body, and no man yet born shall set you free. Your kindness to the human race has earned you this, a god who would not bow to the god's anger. You, transgressing right, gave privileges to mortal men, for that you shall keep watch upon this bitter rock, standing upright, unsleeping, never bowed in rest, and many groans and cries of pain shall come from you, all useless, for the heart of Zeus is hard to appease. Power newly won is always harsh.
What is the use of wasting time in pity? Why do you hate a god who is an enemy to all the gods, who gave away humankind your privilege?
The ties of birth and comradeship are strangely strong.
True, yet how is it possible to disobey the Father's word? Is not that something you dread more?
You have always been cruel, full of aggressiveness.
It does no good to break your heart for him. Come now, you cannot help him. Waste no time in worrying.
I hate my craft. I hate the skill of my own hands.
Why do you hate it? Take the simple view. Your craft is not to blame for what must be inflicted now.
True, yet I wish some other had been given my skill.
All tasks are burdensome except to rule the gods. No one is free but Zeus.
I know. All this is proof. Next page.
No.
Oh.
It's you.
Oh.
Beyond dispute.
No, you have quick then. Be quick then.
No, No, wait, where are you? It's proof.
I said beyond dispute. And then
I didn't hear you say beyond dispute.
Yeah.
Okay. Be quick then. Put the fetters on him before the Father sees you idling.
Here then, look, the iron wristbands are ready. He begins to fix them.
Take them. Manacle him. Hammer with all your force. Rivet him to the rock.
All right, I'm doing it. There, that iron will not come loose.
Drive it in further. Damp him fast. Leave nothing slack.
This arm is firm. At least he'll find no way out there.
Now nail his other arm securely. Let him learn that all his wisdom is but folly before Zeus.
There, none but he could fairly find fault with my work.
Now drive straight through his chest with all the force you have, the unrelenting fang of, the adamantine wedge.
Alas, I weep, Prometheus, for your sufferings.
Still shrinking, weeping for the enemy of Zeus? Take care, or you might need the pity for yourself.
I drive in the wedge. There, now you see a sight to pain your eyes.
I see Prometheus getting his deserts. Come, fix the girths around his ribs.
I must. Don't drive me with commands.
I swear I will command you, yes, and hound you on. Come lower down now. Force his legs into this ring.
That's quickly done.
Now nail those shackles fast. Hit hard! Our work has a stem judge.
Stern judge.
Stem.
Stem?
Has a stem judge.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Does yours say stern?
Mm-hmm. Stern does make more sense.
Stern doesn't, but it says stem. I can read.
That's true.
Okay, anyway.
Your speech your speech matches your looks.
How do you cheer? Her. That's how you cheer. Her. Be soft then, but if I am hard and pitiless, don't cast it at me.
Come, his legs are safe. Let's go. Exit Hephaestus, so I leave.
Stay there and swell with upstart arrogance and steal the privileges of gods to mortal men. How are your mortals going to cut this knot for you? You're wrongly named Prometheus, wise before the event. Wisdom is just the thing you want if you've a mind to squirm your way out of this blacksmith's masterpiece.
Exit strength and violence, and then I'll be Prometheus.
Yours says exit?
Mine says exeunt, but I
Yeah.
know in Latin.
Oh, really?
So.
Okay.
Prometheus. O divinity of sky and swift-winged winds and leaping streams, O countless laughter of the sea's waves, O earth, mother of all life, on you and on the all-seeing circle of the sun I call. See what is done by gods to me, a god. See with what outrage, racked and tortured I am to agonize for 1,000 years. See this shameful prison invented for me by the new master of the gods. I groan in anguish for pain present and pain to come. Where shall I see rise the star of my deliverance? What am I saying? I know exactly everything that is to be. No torment will come unforeseen. My appointed fate I must endure as best I can, knowing the power of necessity is irresistible. Under such suffering, speech and silence are alike beyond me. For bestowing gifts upon mankind, I am harnessed in this torturing clamp. For I am he who hunted out the source of fire and stole it, packed in the pith of a dry fennel stalk. And fire has proved for men a teacher in every art, their grand resource. That was the sin for which I now pay the full price, bared to the winds of heaven, bound and crucified. Ah, who is there? What sound, what fragment air floats by me whence I cannot see? From god or man or demigod have you come to this peak at the world's end to gaze at my torment? Or for what? See me a miserable prisoner, a god, the enemy of Zeus, who have earned the enmity of all gods that frequent the court of Zeus. Because I was too good a friend to men. Ah, I hear it again, close to me, a rustling. Is it of birds? And the air whispering with the light beat of wings. Whatever comes brings fear. Enter the chorus and in a winged ship or carriage.
Fear nothing. We are all your friends. We have flown to this mountain on racing wings, winning reluctant leave from our father, and the winds carried us swiftly along, for the echo of ringing steel shivered through the depths of our cave, shaking quiet bashfulness out of our thoughts, and barefoot as we were, we came at once in our winged carriage.
Alas, alas, children of fertile Tethys, daughter of Oceanus, whose unsleeping tide encircles the whole earth, look at me. See in how cruel a grip, pinned on the craggy peak of this ravine, I must endure my fearful watch. Page turn.
I got it. Thank you. I look, Prometheus, and sudden fear fills my eyes to see your body withering on this rock. Outraged with fetters of adamant, a new master holds the helm of Olympus. These are new lands indeed, by which Zeus tyrannically rules, and the great powers of the past he now destroys.
Would that Zeus had sunk me under the earth, down below Hades, haven of the dead, into the immensity of Tartarus, fastening me in cruel fetters inextricably, that no god or any other creature might feel glad to see me suffer. Instead, I am the miserable sport of every wind, and my torments bring joy to my enemies.
What god is cruel-hearted enough to find joy in such a sight? Who does not suffer with you in pain, save Zeus? He, firm in inflexible anger, treads down the race of our Orannoes, and will not relent till his passion is sated, or till some cunning plot wrests from his hand his impregnable empire.
I swear to you that I, humiliated as I am, bound hand and foot in these strong traps, shall yet be needed by the Lord of Immortals to disclose the new design. Tell him who it is, shall rob him of his power and his glory. The honeyed spells of his persuasive tongue shall not enchant me, nor shall I cower under his fierce threats, or tell this secret, until he free me from these more brutal bonds and consent to compensate me for his outrage.
You are defiant, Prometheus, and your spirit, in spite of all your pain, yields not an inch. But there is too much freedom in your words. My heart is shaken with a piercing terror. I tremble at your fate. How are you to reach the end of these troubles and rest in a safe port? For the son of Kronos is unapproachable in temper, and no words can soften his heart.
Zeus, I know, is ruthless, and keeps law within his own will. Nevertheless, his temper shall in time turn mild, when my words come true and he is broken. Then at last he will calm his merciless anger, and ask for a pact of friendship with me, and I shall welcome him.
Now disclose everything and explain to us upon what charge Zeus had you seized, and treat with such ignominy and brutality. Tell us if telling involves no harm for you.
To speak of this is painful for me. To keep silence is no less pain. On every side is suffering. When first among the immortal gods anger broke out, dividing them into two factions, of which one resolved to unseat the power of Kronos and make Zeus absolute king. Mark that, while the opposing side resolved no less that Zeus should never rule the gods. At that time I, offering the best of all advice, tried to convince the Titans, sons of heaven and earth, and failed. They despised cunning. In their pride of strength they foresaw easy victory and the rule of might. I knew the appointed course of things to come. My mother, Themis, or Earth, one person, though various names, had many times foretold to me that not brute strength, not violence, but cunning must give victory to the rulers of the future. This I explained to them with reasons which they found not worth one moment's heed. Then, of the courses open to me, it seemed best to take my stand, my mother with me, at the side of Zeus, willing and welcome. It was I who gave that counsel, though through which ancient Kronos and his crew lie buried now in the black abyss of Tartarus. That was the help I gave the king of the gods, and this is my reward. This is his black ingratitude. To look on all friends with suspicion, this disease would seem to be inherent in a tyrant's soul. Now for your question, on what charge Zeus tortures me, I'll tell you. On succeeding to his father's throne, at once he appointed various rights to various gods, giving to each his set place and authority. Of wretched humans he took no account, resolved to annihilate them and create another race. This purpose there was no one opposed to it but I. I dared. I saved the human race from being ground to dust, from total death. For that I am subjected to these bitter pains, agony to endure, heart-rending to behold. I pitied mortal men, but being myself not thought to merit pity, I am thus cruelly disciplined, a sight to fix dishonor on the name of Zeus.
Only a heart of iron, a temper carved from rock, Prometheus, could refuse compassion for your pains. Had I known, I could have wished never to see this sight. Now I have seen sorrow. Now I have seen sorrow and anger wreck my heart.
Indeed, my friends feel pity at the sight of me.
Did your offense perhaps go further than you have said?
Yes, I caused men no longer to foresee their death.
What cure did you discover for their misery?
I planted firmly in their hearts blind hopefulness.
Your gift brought them great blessing.
I did more than that. I gave them fire.
What? Men whose life is but a day possess already the hot radiance of fire?
They do, and with it they shall master many crafts.
This, then, was the offense for which you suffer here?
Suffer the unrelenting savagery of Zeus.
And is there no end of this ordeal appointed you?
No, none, until such time as he sees fit to choose.
He never will. What hope is there? Oh, you were wrong. Do you not see? To say that you were wrong grieves me and tortures you. So let us talk no more of it. Instead, try to think now of some deliverance.
Oh, it is easy for the one who stands outside the prison wall of pain to exhort and teach the one who suffers. All you have said to me, I always knew. Wrong? I accept the word. I willed to be wrong. And helping humans, I found trouble for myself. Yet I did not expect such punishment as this. To be assigned an uninhabited desert peak, fastened in mid-air to this crag and left to rot? Listen, stop wailing for the pain I suffer now. Step to the ground. I'll tell you what the future holds. For me, you shall know everything from first to last. Do what I ask. Do it. Share the suffering of one whose turn it is now. Grief is a wanderer who visits many, bringing always the same gift.
Your appeal falls on willing ears, Prometheus. Come, sisters, leave your seats. In the ship that flies on the holy highway of birds, step lightly down to the rocky ground. We are eager to hear the end. The story of all you have undergone. Prometheus. Ow, I bit my tongue.
You good? The chorus leaves their ship. As they group themselves on the ground, Oceanus arrives, seated on a winged four-footed creature. Here at last, Prometheus, I have come a long way to visit you, guiding this swift-winged creature. By will, without any bridle, believe me, I am sorry for your misfortunes. Being related to you, I suppose, makes me sympathize with you. But apart from relationship, there is no one whom I hold in greater respect. That is true, and I will prove it to you, for I am incapable of mere flattery. Come now, tell me what I should do to help you. You shall never say, Prometheus, that you have any firmer friend than Oceanus.
What's that? Who is it? Ah, so you too have come to observe my torment. How was it you dared to leave your ocean river and your rock-roofed natural caves to visit Earth, mother of iron? Are you here to gaze at what I suffer and add your grief to mine? Behold a spectacle, me here, the friend of Zeus, by whose help he established his soul's sovereignty. See what with pains I'm now disciplined by him.
I see, Prometheus, and although your mind is subtle, I want at least to give you the best advice I can. A new king rules the gods. Then know yourself, and take upon yourself new ways to suit the time. If in this way you fling out edged and angry speeches, it may be Zeus, throned though he is far above, will hear you, and, for result, your present lord of troubles will seem a childish trifle. O my unhappy friend, throw off your good angry mood, and seek deliverance from all your suffering. What I say may seem perhaps well-worn, but your plight is the inescapable. Reward, Prometheus, of a too proud speaking tongue. You will not be humble, yet will not yield to pain. You mean to add new sufferings to those you have. Come now, accept my guidance. We are ruled by one whose harsh and sole dominion none may call to account. Acknowledge this, and cease to kick against the goad. Now I will go and try if there is any way within my power to set you free. Meanwhile, keep quiet. Don't rage and storm. You are intelligent. Full well you know that punishment falls on the unruly tongue.
I envy you, your luck in not being under censure for even for having dared to sympathize with me. Now leave it, give it no more thought. Do what you may. You never will persuade him. He is immovable. Look out yourself, lest you meet trouble on your way.
You are far more prudent a counselor of others than of yourself. Experience makes this plain to me, but I am resolved to go, so say no more against it. I am sure, yes, that Zeus will grant me what I ask, and for my sake I will loose your bonds and set you free.
I thank you, and shall always thank you. Your goodwill is all that one could ask. But stir no hand for me. Your trouble will be wasted, and bring me no good, whatever you intend to try. Do nothing and keep clear of danger. If I suffer, I do not therefore wish that as many as possible should suffer too. Far from it, the feet of Atlas graves me. My own brother, who is in the far west, stands with his unwieldy load pressing upon his back. The pillar of heaven and earth, I pity Typhon, that earthborn destroying giant, the 100-headed native of the Sicilian caves.
Page turn, ladies and gentlemen.
I saw him, all his fiery strength subdued by force. Against the united gods he stood, his fearful jaws hissing forth terror. From his eyes a ghastly glare flashed, threatening to annihilate the throne of Zeus. But Zeus's sleepless wagon came on him. He felt the fiery vapor of the crashing thunderbolt, which blasted him out of his lofty boasts, and struck his very heart, and burnt his strength to sulphurous ash.
Damn.
Now, crushed under Mount Etna's roots near the sea strait, he lies, a helpless, sprawling hulk, while on the peak Hephaestus hammers red-hot iron, and thence one day rivers of flame shall burst forth, and with savage jaws devour the bright, smooth fields of fertile Sicily. Such rage shall Typhon, though charred with the bolt of Zeus, send boiling out in jets of fierce, fire-breathing spume, unquenchable. What? Unquenchable. But you are not without experience. You have no need of my instruction. Save yourself, as you know how. Meanwhile, I'll drink from my painful cup to the dregs, till Zeus relaxes from his angry mood.
Have you not learnt, Prometheus, anger's a disease which words can heal?
Yes, if you soothe the spirit while the moment's ripe, not roughly balk a swelling rage.
Tell me, Prometheus, do you see some risk entailed even in my having dared to sympathize with you?
Superfluous labor and light-minded foolishness.
Let me be guilty, then, of foolishness. Sometimes a wise man gains his point by being thought not wise.
In this case, it is I who will be thought not wise.
Your way of speaking plainly sends me home again.
Why, yes, in pitying me, I fear you may well gain an enemy.
Who? The new enthroned Almighty Lord?
Take care, he may turn angry.
Your fate is a lesson to me, Prometheus.
Go! Get out! Be what you are.
Damn. I'm anxious to be going. There's no need to shout. This four-legged beast's already beating with his wings, the smooth path of the air. Yes, he'll be pleased, though, enough to lie down comfortably in his own stall at home. Exit Oceanus.
I weep, Prometheus, for your deadly plight. Tears flow from my eyes, fall in a gentle stream, and wash my cheek like a spring of water. In this pitiful sight, Zeus, ruling by laws of his own invention, provides an example of his proud power over the gods of the past. Now every country cries aloud in grief. The people of Europe mourn for you and the Titan race, your glorious ancient rule and honor. In all the settled tribes that graze the fields of holy Asia weep loudly for you and share your suffering. The Amazons of the land of Colchis, virgins fearless in battle, the Scythian hordes who live at the world's end. On the shores of Lake Maeotis, the warlike princes of Arabia, holding their cliff-perched fortress near Mount Caucasus, whose battle cry strikes terror in the ranks of sharpened spears, weep for you. Only once before have I seen
Page turn.
a Titan god so tormented, vanquished in bonds invincible, Atlas, alone in his excellence of strength, who holds the vault of the sky upon his back and groans, and the wave of the wide ocean roars in unison with him. The depths of waters weep, the cavernous darkness of dead world mutters under, and the holy fountains of flowing rivers weep in pain, in pity for his pain.
You must not think it is enough. It is through pride or stubbornness that I am silent. Thought and anger gnaw my heart to see myself so outraged. Why, who else but I assign to these new gods their honors first and last? All that you know, and I'll not speak of. What I did for mortals in their misery, here now. At first mindless, I gave them mind and reason. What I say is not in censure of mankind, but showing you how all my gifts to them were guided by goodwill. In those days they had eyes, but sight was meaningless, heard sounds, but could not listen. All their length of life they passed like shapeless in dreams, confused and purposeless, of brick-built, sun-warmed houses, or of carpentry. They had no notion, lived in holes like swarms of ants, or deep in sunless caverns, knew no certain way to mark off winter or flowery spring or fruitful summer. Their every act was without knowledge, till I came. I taught them to determine when stars rise or set, a difficult art. Number, the primary science, I invented for them, and how to set down records in writing. Then the all-remembering skill, mother of many arts, I was the first to harness beasts under a yoke, with trace or saddle of a man as a man's slaves, to take a man's place under the heaviest burdens, put the horse to the chariot, made him obey the rein, and be an ornament to wealth and greatness. No one before me discovered the sailor's wagon, flax-winged craft that roamed the seas. Such tools and skills I found for men. Myself, poor wretch, lack even one trick to free me from this agony.
Humiliation follows. I kind of have to sneeze, but not fully.
I've left the tissues there.
Thanks. Okay, I'm okay. Humiliation follows pain, distraught in mind. You have lost your way. Like a bad doctor fallen ill, you now despair of finding drugs to cure yourself.
Now hear the rest of what I have to tell, what crafts, what methods I devised, and you will wonder more. For in importance, if a man fell ill, he had no remedy, solid or liquid medicine or ointment, but lack of drugs they pined away, until I showed them how to mix mild healing herbs, and so protect themselves against all maladies. Then I distinguished various modes of prophecy, and was the first to tell from dreams of what fate ordained should come about, interpreted the hidden sense of voices, sounds, sights met by chance upon the road. The various flights of crook-clawed vultures I defined exactly, those by nature favorable and those sinister, how each species keeps its mode of life, what feuds, friendships, associations, kind with kind preserves, how to interpret signs in sacrifice, smoothness of heart and lights, what colors please the gods. In each, the mottled shapeliness of liver lobes, the thigh bones wrapped in fat, and the long chine I burnt, leading men on the highway of an occult art, and signs from flames, obscure before I now made plain. So much for prophecy. Next, the treasures of the earth, the bronze, iron, silver, gold hidden deep down. Who else but I can claim to have found them first? No one, unless he talks like a fool. So here's the whole truth in one word. All human skill and science was Prometheus's gift.
Then do not, after helping men to your own hurt, neglect to save yourself from torment. I have hopes that you will yet be freed and rival Zeus in power.
Fate fulfills all in time, but it is not ordained these events shall yet reach such an end. My lot is to win freedom only after countless pains. Cunning is feebleness beside necessity.
And whose hand on the helm controls necessity?
The three fates and the Furies who forget nothing.
Has Zeus less power than they?
He cannot fly from fate.
What feat is given to Zeus but everlasting power?
This is a thing you may not know, so do not ask.
It is some holy truth you cloak in mystery.
Turn your thoughts elsewhere. Now is not the time to speak of that. It is a secret by which every means must be kept close. By keeping it, I shall escape this ignominious prison and these fearful pains.
May Zeus, who disposes all things, never exert his power to crush my will. May I never grow weary in worshipping the gods with pure offerings of bulls beside the inexhaustible stream of my father Oceanus. May I not offend in word, but let this resolve remain unfading in my heart. It is a pleasant thing to spend the length of life in confidence and hope, and to nourish the soul in light and cheerfulness. But I shudder when I see you, Prometheus, racked by infinite tortures. For you have no fear of Zeus, but pursuing your own purpose, you respect too highly the race of mortals. See, my friend, how thankless were all your benefits. Tell me, what strength is there, and where? What help to be found in men who live for a day? Did you not note the helpless infirmity, feeble as a dream which fetters the blind tribes of men? For human purposes shall never trespass outside the harmony of Zeus's government. This is the truth I have learned from your downfall, Prometheus. What strikes my ear is the difference between today's sounds of sorrow and the songs we sang to grace your marriage. The song for the bath and the song for the bed, when you wooed and won with gifts my sister, Hesione, for your wedded bride.
Enter Io. What land is this? What race lives here? Who is this that I see held in fetters of rock and at the mercy of wind and storm? For what sin do you suffer such a death? Tell me, where has my miserable wandering brought me? Suddenly the shrieks of pain and terror.
You have to shriek.
Ah!
No, that wasn't. You gotta shriek.
Ah! I can't shriek.
No, you got it. You can do it.
I can't shriek.
It's okay.
My voice doesn't do that. The gadfly stings me again. Oh, I see the ghost of Argus, the earthborn herdsman with 1,000 eyes. Gods, keep him away. He was killed, but no earth can hide him. He follows me with his crafty gaze. He escapes from his grave to hound me without mercy, and drives me starving alone the sandy shores, while the clear music of wax-bound pipes fills my ears with a tune that longs for sleep. Where will my endless journeys bring me? Son of Kronos, what have I done? What sin did you find in me to put on me such a yoke of torment, plague me to misery and madness with this driving, stinging terror? Burn me with fire, let the earth swallow me, throw me as food for sea serpents. Lord God, will you grudge me this prayer? I have wandered so far, I have been punished enough with wandering. I cannot tell how to escape from pain. Do you hear my voice? It is Io, the girl with horns.
I hear indeed the frenzied daughter of Inachus, who fired the heart of Zeus with love, and suffers now through Hera's hate her long ordeal of cruel pursuit.
You spoke my father's name. How do you know it? Tell me, who are you? Who you are, you as pitiable as I, you know who I am, and you name truly the heaven-sent tormentor which ravages and drives me with stings. I have run without rest. In a leaping frenzy of pain and hunger, the victim of Hera's calculating resentment. Are there any in all this suffering world who endure what I endure? Tell me clearly what remains for me to suffer, what resource, what cure can save me. Speak if you know, give help and guidance, to the tortured exiled virgin.
I'll tell you plainly everything you wish to learn, not weaving mysteries, but in simple speech, as one should use in speaking to a friend. I am Prometheus, who bestowed on man the gift of fire.
O universal benefactor of mankind, ill-starred Prometheus, why are you thus crucified?
I was lamenting all my pains. I have ceased now.
Will you not tell me?
Ask, I can tell everything.
Who was it then that clamped you fast in this ravine?
The will of Zeus decreed, Hephaestus' hand obeyed.
What were the sins for which you suffer punishment?
What I have told you is enough.
Then reveal this. Where is the end of my cursed wandering, and when?
Not to know this is better for you than to know.
Do not hide from me what it is my doom to suffer.
It is not that I grudge you what you ask of me.
Then why do you hesitate to tell me the whole truth?
Not from ill will. I shrink from shattering your heart.
Come, do not take more thought for me than I could wish.
Since you're determined, I must tell you. Listen, then.
Not yet. Let us too share this pleasure. Let us ask Io to tell us the story of her affliction, and hear the ruin of her life from her own lips. Then let her learn from you what she must yet endure.
It is for you, Io, to grant them their request, and more especially since they are your father's sisters. Tears and lamenting due to their reward when those who listen are ready too with tears of sympathy. He escapes from his... Wait, is that right?
No.
No, it's not.
I cannot disobey. You shall hear everything you want to know, in plain words, though even to speak of those events from which my troubles first arose, and my unhappy transformation makes me weep. At night, in my own room, visions would visit me, repeating in seductive words, "Most blessed maid, why live a virgin for so long? Love waits for you. The greatest, Zeus, inflamed with arrows of desire, longs to unite with you in love. Do not reject, my child, the bed of Zeus. Go out to the deep grass of Lerna, where your father's sheep and cattle graze, that the eye of Zeus may rest from longing and be satisfied." By such dreams every troubled night I was beset, until I dared to tell my father. Then he sent messengers many times to Philo and Dodona, to learn what he must do or say to please the gods. They came back with reports of riddling oracles, obscurely worded, hard to interpret, but at last was given a clear utterance unmistakably commanding Inachus to turn me from his house and city, to wander homeless to the ends of the earth. If he refused, the fiery thunderbolt of Zeus would fall and extirpate his race to the last man. Such was the oracle of Loxias. My father yielded and sent me forth and locked his door against me. He as unwilling as myself, but he was forced to do this by the cruel bridal rein of Zeus. At once my shape was changed, my mind distorted. Horned as you now see, stung by the gadfly's stabbing goad, convulsed and mad, I rushed on to the crystal stream of Kerchina, the spring of Lerna. I was followed by Argus, a giant herdsman of ungoverned rage, who watched my every step with his 10,000 eyes. A sudden, unexpected stroke robbed him of life. I, gadfly maddened, am still driven from land to land, lashed by this god-appointed scourge. That is my story. If you can say what still remains to be endured, tell me, and do not, out of pity, comfort me with lies. I count false words the foulest plague of all.
What a pitiful, terrible fate. Never did I dream that so strange a story would ever come to my ears. That anguish, cruelty, terror, so bitter to see and to endure, would ever chill my spirit with a wound so sharp. Alas, fate, fate! I see the lot of Io and tremble.
You shed tears too early, like a frightened woman. Keep them until you hear what is to follow now.
Speak then and tell her all. It comforts those in pain to know beforehand all the pain they still must bear.
Your first request to me was easily obtained. You wished to hear Io's ordeal from her own lips. Now hear the rest. What sufferings at Hera's hands are yet in store for this young maid. Now lay to heart my words, daughter of Inachus, and learn the goal of all your journeys. From this place turn first toward the rising sun and pass over the unplowed plains until you reach the land of nomad Scythians, living high above the ground in houses built on strong-wheeled carts with wattled roofs. They are armed with powerful bows. Keep well away from them, and take your path by the loud, roaring, rocky shore, and so pass through that country. Next, on your left hand, is the country of the Chalybes, craftsmen in iron. Beware of them, they are savage, and no stranger can approach them safely. After this, you reach the river Hybristes, whose wild torrent justifies its name. Do not attempt to cross, it is too dangerous. Until you come to Caucasus itself, the peak of all that range, where from the very brows of the river flood forth its fury. You must cross the topmost ridge, close to the stars, and take the pathway leading south. There you will find the warlike race of Amazons, haters of men. This race in time to come shall found the city of Themyscira on the Thermodon, where the rough jaw of Salmydesius fronts the sea. An enemy to sailors, stepmother to ships, the Amazons will most gladly guide you on your way. Next, where the narrow creek gives entrance to a lake, you will come to the Cimmerian Isthmus. Boldly then, leave land and cross the Maeoc Strait. Ages to come shall tell the story of your passage, and the place shall be called Bosphorus to commemorate you. Thus, from Europe you will reach the Asian continent. Does it not seem to you that this king of the gods in all matters alike is given to violence, a god lusting for union with this mortal maid? He dooms her to such journeys. You are unfortunate, Io, in your lover. All that I have told so far hardly begins, believe me, all that there is to tell.
I cannot bear it.
More cries and groans? What shall you hear the rest? What then?
Have you still more to tell her of distress and pain?
I have, a stormy sea of deadly misery.
Why should I go on living? Why not hurl myself at once down from this rocky cliff, be dashed in pieces, and find relief from all my pain? Better to die once than to suffer torment all my living days.
Then you would find it hard to bear my agonies, since I am fated not to die. Death would have brought release, but now to no end suffering is in sight, for me, until Zeus be deposed from sovereignty.
What? Is it possible that Zeus should be deposed?
You would be glad, I think, to see that come about.
How could I help it after all he has made me suffer?
Learn it as truth. It shall be so.
By whom shall Zeus be stripped of power?
By his own foolish purposes.
How will it happen? Tell me, if it does no harm.
He plans a union that will turn to his undoing.
With mortal or immortal? Tell me if you may.
Why ask with whom? That is the thing I may not tell.
Then is it she who will unseat him from his throne?
She is to bear a son more powerful than his father.
Is there no way by which Zeus can escape this fate?
None, but with my help. I could save him, once set free.
But if Zeus be unwilling, who can you set free?
A child of yours is named as my deliverer.
What do you say? My child shall free you from... My child shall free you from these chains?
Yes, in the 13th generation after you.
I find it hard to interpret this last prophecy.
Then do not seek to learn your own appointed lot.
You offered me this favor. Do not now refuse.
I'll grant you one or other of two prophecies. Page turn.
Thank you. What are they? Offer me my choice.
Then choose between the remainder of your journey and my deliverer.
Of these two favors, if you please, grant one to her and one to me, Prometheus. Do not grudge the telling. Reveal to Io all her future wandering. Tell me who shall set you free. I long to know.
Since you are eager, I will not refuse to tell everything you desire. First, Io, I will name the many lands where fate will toss you in your journey. Write what I tell you in your book of memory. When you have crossed the stream that bounds two continents, press on over the surge of the sea towards the east, where the sun stalks in flame on the Gorgonian land, Sisthne. There live Phorcys' aged virgin daughters in shape like swans, possessing one eye and one tooth between the three, beings on whom no ray of sun ever looks down, nor moon at night, and close to them their three-winged sisters, loathed enemies of humankind, the snake-haired Gorgons, whom no man can see and live. This is but the beginning. Now here yet another grim sight you must encounter. Beware the silent hounds of Zeus, the sharp-beaked griffins, and beware the tribe of one-eyed Armaspian horsemen on the banks of the Plutonian river whose waters wash down gold. Do not go near them. Then you will reach the remote region where the sun's bright fountains live a dark-skinned race. There is the Ethiopian river. Follow its course down till you reach the cataract where... Wait a second. Does this just go on for pages and pages?
No, next page.
Okay.
Page course says something, and then Prometheus keeps doing his thing.
Okay.
Oh, he does his thing for a long time.
Okay, yeah. So... I'll finish this part. The Nile pours forth its holy stream to quench men's thirst, and he will guide you to the delta of the Nile, where Io, you and your descendants shall at last, by fate's appointment, found your far-off colony. If any point is indistinct or hard to follow, ask further, and make sure that you have understood. I have more time to spare than I would wish to have.
If anything passed over still remains to tell of Io's painful journeys, speak. If not, grant now to us the favor which you remember we asked of you.
Io has heard the whole course of her wandering, and lest she think I have given her idle words, I'll speak of what she suffered before coming here, to prove my words. Most of the details I'll omit and come directly to your recent wanderings. Can you check the phone and make sure that I'm actually in frame, that my head...
Yeah.
Okay, good. Can you sit on the edge of the couch? There you go. You can sit. You sit on... Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Here we go. I think this is just the author, flexing his knowledge of geography. Like he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna write down every place that I know, and this is where she'll go. Oh yeah. On reaching the Molossian plains and the rock wall which towers above Dodonia, where Thesprotian Zeus has his oricure seat, where grow the speaking oaks, a marvel past belief, by which you were addressed plainly and unambiguously as the destined bride of Zeus. Does that touch you? From that place you rushed, plagued by the gadfly's sting, along the seashore path to the wide Adriatic, whence back yet again the storm of frenzy drove you on your wild flight here. And that bay of the sea shall for all future time mark this, be called Ionian, to perpetuate for all mankind the story of Io's wanderings. I tell you this as proof that my prophetic mind sees more than meets the eye. Now to you all I'll tell the rest, resuming at the point where I broke off. How much time? Oh, wow. Where the Nile's outflow lays its bank of silt, there stands on the last edge of land the city of Canopsus. And here at last Zeus shall restore your mind and come upon you not with terror, with a gentle touch. His hand laid on you shall put life into your womb, and you shall bear a dark-skinned son to Zeus, and name him from his begetting, child of a touch, Epiphus. He shall possess the harvest wealth of all those lands, watered by the broad-flowing Nile. 5 generations from him, a family of 50 sisters shall return against their will to Argos, desperate to escape from kindred marriage with their cousins. These the young men follow in passionate pursuit, close to their track, as hawks hunt doves, lusting for an unlawful love. But God shall grudge them the enjoyment of their brides, and Argive soil shall welcome them, where in the night bold resolution goes on guard, and women's hands make war and slaughter, and male pride is overthrown. For each shall plunge her sharp sword in his throat, and kill her husband. May such love come to my enemies. But sweet desire shall charm one girl, and blunt the edge of her resolve, and she shall spare her husband's life, and choose to be called coward, but not murderous. And she shall live in the Argos and give birth to kings, and from her children's children shall be born in time. To trace each step would take too long. A fearless hero famed as an archer, who shall free me from these bounds. Such is the oracle as my mother told it to me. Titanian Themis, born in the old time. But how this shall come about would take me long to tell, and you in listening would gain nothing.
Ah! Wild cry of pain. Ah! The stroke of madness burns me again. My brain is convulsed. The gadfly stings me with his immortal arrow. My heart beats wildly in my body. My eyeballs roll and turn. Insanity falls on me like a raging storm and drives me off course. I can't govern my tongue. Words rush out at random, beating against waves of deadly ruin.
Exit Io. Who first weighed this thought in his mind and gave it utterance in his speech, that the best rule by far to marry in your own rank, that a man who works with his hands should never crave to marry either woman pampered by wealth or one who prides herself on her noble family. O fates, who bring all things to fulfillment, may you never see me sharing the bed of Zeus. May I never be joined in marriage with any god, for I tremble when I look at the girlhood of Io, denied the love of a man, tormented in ever restless exile by the cruelty of Hera. When marriage is with an equal, for me it holds no fear or danger, but may love of the greater gods never cast on me its irresistible glance. This is a fight which cannot be fought, the straight road to despair. What would become of me I cannot say, for I see no way to escape the design of Zeus.
I swear that Zeus, for all his obstinacy, shall yet be humbled. So disastrous shall this marriage prove, which he proposes, a marriage that shall hurl him out of throne and sovereignty into oblivion, and then the curse his father Cronus cursed him with, the day he lost his ancient throne, shall all come true. There is no god but I who can reveal to him the way to avert this ignominy. I know it all, so now let him sit on, serenely confident in his celestial thunders, brandishing in his hand his fierce fire-breathing thunderbolt that will not save him. His fall will be sure, shameful, unendurable. Such an antagonist he is even now, preparing against himself a wonder irresistible, one who will find a flame hotter than lightning strokes, a crash to overwhelm the thunder, one whose strength shall split Poseidon's trident spear, that dreaded scourge that shakes both sea and land. This is the reef on which his power shall strike and founder, till he learns how great a chasm lies between ruling and being ruled.
These threats against Zeus surely voice but your own wish.
I speak what shall prove true, and my own wish as well.
Must we expect one who shall bring Zeus to his knees?
Yes, Zeus's neck shall bow beneath worse pains than mine.
Why are you not afraid to fling such taunting words?
Why should I fear? My destiny is not to die.
Zeus might invent for you some still worse agony.
Then let him do it. I am prepared for everything.
A wise man will speak humbly and fear Nemesis.
Bow, pray, as always fawn upon the powerful hand. For great Zeus, I care less than nothing. Let him do and govern as he wills for the short time he has. He will not govern long among the gods. Why, look, here comes his runner, the new tyrant's lickspittle. No doubt he brings some message.
Enter Hermes. I speak to you, the master's mind, with heart more sour than sourness. You who honored creatures of a day and sinned against immortals, you, the thief of fire, the father bids you to tell him what this marriage is, though through which you boast that he shall fall from power. Now speak, no clever riddles, but set forth the detailed truth. Do not, Prometheus, make me travel all this way again. Zeus is not mollified by such replies.
This underling of gods makes a high-sounding speech crammed with importance. You and all your crew are young, so is your power, and you imagine that you hold an unassailable citadel. But I have seen 2 dynasties already hurled from those same heights, and I shall see a 3rd. Today's king fell to earth more shamefully than his precursors, and more soon. Do you think I quake and cower before those upstart gods? Not much, nor little. Not one slightest, though. Now you trot back the way you came, you'll find nothing out here.
Conduct like this, both obstinate and insolent, has once already brought you to a painful plight.
Understand this. I would not change my painful plight on any terms for your servile humility.
Being bond slave to this rock is preferable, no doubt, to being the trusted messenger of Father Zeus.
You use the fitting language of the insolent.
It seems you find your present state a luxury.
You think so? May I one day see my enemies and you among them in such a luxury as this.
What, I? Do you blame me, too, for your sufferings?
In one word, I detest all gods who could repay my benefits with such outrageous infamy.
It's plain that your insanity is far advanced.
Perhaps, if to hate enemies is insanity, now you, free and in power, would be unbearable.
No, that's me. Now you...
Oh, shoot, sorry.
Now you, free and in power, would be unbearable.
Alas!
Alas! That word is one which Zeus has never known.
But time, as he grows older, teaches everything.
Time has not taught you self-control or prudence yet.
No, or I would not argue with an underling.
It seems you'll tell nothing of what Zeus wants to know.
And yet I owe him much that I would gladly pay.
You banter with me. Do you think I am a child?
Are you not then a child, or worse than childish, if you still expect to get an answer out of me? There is no torture, no ingenuity by which Zeus can persuade me to reveal my secret, till the injury of these bonds is loosened for me. Therefore let scorching flames be flung from heaven. Let the whole earth, with white-winged snowstorms, subterranean thunderings, heave and convulse. Nothing will force me to reveal by whose hand fate shall hurl Zeus from his tyranny.
Consider now whether this course seems profitable.
I have long ago considered all this and resolved.
Come, bring yourself, perverse fool, while there is still time to weigh your situation, and so turn to sense.
You waste your breath. You may as well exhort the waves. Never persuade yourself that I, through fear of what Zeus may intend, will show a woman's mind, or kneel to my detested enemy with womanish hands outspread in supplication for release. No, never!
My words lead only to more words without effect. Beg as I may, nothing can soothe or soften you. Like an unbroken colt, you try your strength and take the bit between your teeth and fight against the reins. Yet all your violence springs from feeble reckoning, for obstinacy in a fool has by itself no strength at all. Consider now what punishments will burst inevitably upon you like a storm of mountainous waves, if you refuse to listen to me. First, Zeus will split this rugged chasm with the shock and flame of lightning and entomb you underground, still clamped to this embracing rock. When a long age has passed, you will return into the light, and then the dark-winged hound of Zeus will come, the savage eagle, an uninvited banqueter, and all day long will rip your flesh in rags and feast upon your liver, gnawing it black. And you may hope for no release for such a torment, till some god be found to take your pains upon him, and of his own descend to sunless Hades and back in the black depths of Tartarus. So think again. This is no fabricated boast, but truth as Zeus has spoken it, who cannot lie, but will accomplish every word his mouth has uttered. Look every way, consider, and be sure of this. Wise counsel is always worth more than stubbornness.
To us it seems that Hermes' words are sensible. He bids you quit resistance and seek good advice. Do so. A wise man's folly forfeits dignity.
I knew what Hermes had to say before he made his brag. It is no dishonor for an enemy to suffer at his enemy's hands. So let the pronged locks of lightning be launched at me. Let the air be roused with thunder and convulsion of wild winds. Let hurricanes upheave by the roots at the base of the earth. Let the sea waves' roaring savagery confound the courses of the heavenly stars. Let him lift me high and hurl me to black Tartarus on ruthless floods of irresistible doom. I am one who he cannot kill.
Thoughts and words like these are what one may hear from lunatics. This prayer of his shows all the features of frenzy, and I see no sign of improvement. You, however, who sympathize with his sufferings, get away from this place, lest the intolerable roar of thunder stun your senses.
If you want to persuade me, use a different tone and give other advice. You speak too hastily, bidding me to do what I could not think of doing. Would you have me practice cowardice? I will stay with Prometheus, come what must. I was taught to hate those who desert their friends, and there is no infamy I more despise.
Then remember my warning, and when you are caught by calamity, don't lay the blame on fortune, or say that Zeus plunged you in suffering unforeseen. Not Zeus, but yourself will be to blame. You know what is coming, and neither sudden nor secret. Only your own folly will entangle you in the inextricable net of destruction.
Exit Hermes. Now it is happening. Threat gives place to performance. The earth rocks, thunder, echoing from the depth, roars in answer. Fiery lightnings twist and flash, dust dances in whirling fountain. Blasts of the four winds skirmish together, set themselves in an array for battle. Sky and sea rage indistinguishably. The cataclysm advances visibly upon me, sent by Zeus to make me afraid. O earth, my holy mother, O sky, where sun and moon give light to all in turn, you see how I am wronged. The rock collapses and disappears as the chorus scatter in all directions. Yay! We're done.
Cool.
That was really good. We should do like a short reflection on the play. We can share a microphone.
Okay.
All right, any reflections on the play?
No.
I thought it was actually pretty good. I liked it. What did you think of the play?
I thought it was okay. I don't know. I always like in old plays kind of the banter between the characters, but I don't know. Then when it's just a really long soliloquy or monologue, that's where I kind of lose it. But I definitely like the back and forth, especially between Hermes and Prometheus. Like
yeah, that was good.
I think that's still like relatable now. You know?
Yeah.
Just like, oh, you think you're in charge, like.
And like I mean, you were definitely a much more expressive actor than I was.
Who, me?
Yes. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I was actually surprised at how like understandable it was.
Yeah, me too.
Like I was like, yeah, I get what's happening.
Yeah.
I get what's going on.
Yeah. thought it was weird that, so in some of the words, when some of the times you said I in your script, in my script, it had the number 1, which I thought was just really random. And instead of saying like far, mine said fur.
Yeah, that script I copied off of, like, I looked up Prometheus Bound PDF download, and that was like the first thing that came up. And so I just spent like 15 minutes copy pasting each page into a Google Doc.
It was pretty much the same thing, just a couple little things different.
But yeah, so that is Prometheus Bound. It's gonna take me like 2 weeks of really pain in the ass editing to like do this, but hopefully see you next time for another play. Bye.
Adios.